Alexander. But wait, he's too well protected here.
Quite right. Do seek my counsel. I highly recommend it. As am I. A prince should die of old age or on the battlefield. Anything else could be construed as weakness of character. That said, I've the distinct feeling I wasn't meant to die today. For despite your heroics, I was still cast into the water. I sank. I drowned. But there was something in the water. A voice made of air that soothed my flooding lungs. There was sudden light, warmth, life. Truly, how intriguing. To hear a voice whilst drowning is a rather specific delusion to share, is it not? Still, I wonder if...
He hesitates.
Are you a religious person? A pity. Religious persons tend to be all too self-important in their supposed humility. As for myself, I perform the ancient rites of prayer and ceremony with a kind of languid indulgence. After all, when one is revered by many as a living god oneself, public deprecation would be needlessly self-important as well, wouldn't you say? There isn't much to say, but for the fact that I simply must. It's the portent of it all. I can feel it. The revelation will be world-changing. I just know it. And justified it is too. You'll be a witness to wonders, I assure you. As certain as the sun, such is my conviction. I will be, then grow beyond being. There was a small incident which prompted my many rivals to move against me. Technically, they had the letter of the law on their side. Such a nuisance, the law. Quite necessary to keep the common in line, of course, but one such as myself it should exempt as a matter of course. What I meant was that, being authority, I shouldn't be under any thumb. I had thought that was perfectly obvious. Sadly, that enlightened point of view quite clearly turned out to be academic. If not, we wouldn't be having this very conversation. I hardly know you as yet. Let's leave some mystery in the relationship, shall we? We can exchange criminal records later. I intend to rule an empire one day, not a tiny outcropping in the sea, lording over gulls and guppy fish. To that end, I suggest we focus on the obvious. A farewell to Fort Joy and a hello to the mainland.
I am a proud loyal to the Order. I would not dream of subverting our cause.
Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know...
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use. Cut it out.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come!
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Stay silent, you!
Bishop Alexander looks up at the sound of your voice, curiosity on his face. Recognition seems to flicker in his eyes for a moment, but then he shakes his head and looks back towards the suffering Atusa. Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge and quickly fall to the ground. She groans.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to his only son, your bishop, and your friend these many years. The fate of our realm hangs in the balance. If you will not help us save it, then you will help the Void destroy it. Dallas?
Yes, Your Holiness?
I believe we're done here.
What a waste. Come, we'll be needed elsewhere.
The lizard magister, or what's left of her, lies in a puddle of gore.
She was a lizard, yet a magister. No matter her reasons, her penalty was fair.
These creatures are so prone to violence. Naturally, the weaker specimens suffer.
Did you see 'em? You did, right? Those claws. Wonder what's behind the masks, too. Can't be pretty. The Geists, dummy. The Hammer and Alexander had 2 in tow just a moment ago. Ugh. Thought you lot would be interested in a thing like that. Oh, be careful what you wish for, fella my lad. You may well get your hands on them contraptions, as you call them. Sooner, perhaps, than you'd have liked. Now, why don't you move along and settle in? A magister will come and find you when they're ready for you. Could be a while, though. We're up to our hoods in sinners these days.
Where is he? He hasn't changed a bit. Always late. Where is he?
Saw him, didn't you? The Hammer and Alexander. They gave that scaly traitor what for, they did. Missed quite the scene. The bishop himself and his right hand laid down the law on a traitor among our own ranks. One of the last lizard magisters left. Burst into quite the bloody mess, she did. Bishop's the son of the dead divine. Don't know when we'll get a new one, but Alexander's looking after us in the meantime all the same. And the Hammer's a solid sort. Don't take no guff and don't stand for no idling. Earned that name for a reason, she did. When you give up the darkness that's inside you. Take your fault, it's there, mind. But it's there all the same. They're working on a cure for you even now. Got some good leads, so I hear. You can trust Dallas to take care of it. And once you're cured, your life will start again. So in the time of Lucian, of course. Who wouldn't join up with God himself? It was all glory, all goodness. When we lost him, well, it only made sense to see his will through. Can't for certain, but I reckon when God himself gives his life to protect you, you don't waste the gift. You protect it with everything you've got. So that's what we do. Lucian gave his life to protect Rivellon. If we let the Voidwoken get to it now, well, we'd have lost him for nothing. Fort Joy ain't no summer camp. No one said it were, but it's the best we've got to protect the realm.
Didn't I?
Did you see them, sir? Bishop Alexander and the Hammer herself, they were so close, almost within arm's reach. They were just there but a moment ago. The bishop's much taller than I'd imagined from the paintings, and the Hammer is so much
He hasn't changed a bit.
younger.
Always late.
fella can't hear himself think with all this racket. Day and night she hollers after that child. You hear that, Farah? You gotta cut that out. What's happened to you? Aye, she needs help, but none that I can give. Mad as a cuckoo, that one, and twice as loud. Distraught don't even begin to cover it. She's hollering after that child of hers. Killed by a void woman, she was. Been dead and buried for a month now. Never even stepped foot in Fort Joy. And there ain't no amount of hollering that'll bring her back.
Where is he?
Irma? Irma? Irma, Mummy's right here. Where are you? Please, please, you must help me. No one here will help me. Not one of these bastards. A child is missing. My baby. Oh, bless you, bless you. She's been missing for days now, and not a single soul will help me look for her. Irma's her name. She's about as high as your hip. Black of hair, a quiet child. Not prone to wandering off. I'm sick with worry. Completely sick. And no one in this damn camp will lift a finger to help me find her. I last saw her just here, near 3 days ago. She was playing with her little doll, and I was washing out her tunic. I turned from her for one moment, and she was gone. Left her doll behind, too. It's so unlike her. Yes, of course. Here, you should take it with you. When you find her, give her the doll and tell her, Mummy says this is for her little chicken, and it's time to come home. That's what I call her, my little chicken.
She soaks up a steady stream of tears with her shirt sleeve.
She ought to come with you then. She ought to follow you back to me. This place turns people cold, cold and wicked. That fellow Jeth over there speaks unutterable evil, but I can't move away from him. What if Irma comes back and I'm not here?
That's it.
You are an angel. Truly you are.
I told him at noon exactly. Didn't I?
Irma? Where are you, darling?
I don't think I ain't watching. That's your fifth blue jester this round.
What of it?
Ah, grab it in your gobblers, the both of you.
If you don't like the game, Topsy, you can fold.
No, just 'cause the pair of you and filthy cheating liars.
The woman is scrabbling at her throat, as though she can hardly breathe. As she catches sight of you, recognition flashes in her terrified eyes. She drops her hands from her throat and starts hyperventilating.
Ben Mest, Ifan, Ben Mest, you killed them! You killed them! He killed them all! Murderer! Keep him away from me! Help! Somebody! Keep him away!
Stay back.
Guards! Guards! Keep him away from me!
I don't think I ain't watching. That's your fifth blue jester this round. Ah, grab it in your gobblers, the both of you.
If you don't like the game, Topsy, you can fold.
No, just 'cause the pair of you are filthy cheating liars don't mean I can't beat you.
A little respect for Griff's right hand, Topsy girl.
right hand, my winker. Fella's got more right hands than an octopus.
Looky here, mates. A fresh face. We love fresh faces, don't we? Oh, yes, we do. Why don't you join us in a round of cards? First hands on the house. Chuff to you, Chief. Here are your cards. You're up first.
You glance at your hand. 2 purple monarchs. A hard hand to beat.
Quite the hand, Freshie. Unfortunately, 2 is less than 5, and that's how many purples I've got. I reckon that makes me the winner. I'll be having your fee then. Just my bit of fun, Sharpie. I'm sure the Reds told you, no one gets along without paying the interment fee. So, let's make this easy. Empty your pockets. Are you really gonna make this so hard, Freshie? Lone wolf, eh? If you lot are as fearsome as they say, how'd you let a troop of goons like the Reds get their hands on ya?
Ralvo looks you up and down.
You know what? I'm in a good mood. Take a hike, Freshie. Ha! You hear that, mates? This cub's got claws. Let's try 'em out, shall we?
Lest the void overtake and devour us all.
You there? I'm looking for an inmate. He wears a large bronze ring with a dragon stamped into it. Have you seen him? None of your business, inmate. Find me if you hear of a me-go. Otherwise, don't waste my time.
Our Father, who presideth over us all.
Mummy's right here. Where are you?
Come on, old man. I can't wait all day. Don't disturb me again, unless you've seen me go.
Children, your supplicants, and divine.
Where are you, darling?
Useless. It is a very important matter that I locate this me-go.
Lest the void overtake and devour us all. Greetings, child. I find myself in your so-called divine lands, yet I feel his absence deep in my heart all the same. No disrespect, eh? I'm used to calling all the divine's offspring that way. Absent though our father may be. Well, my child. Lest the void overtake and devour us all.
Come on then, Lexington. Hang up.
I find I need bread. I want no trouble.
Bread or a brisket? Both the same.
Your grift teaches you to bully others.
As you approach the blacksmith, you feel a bony hand on your arm. Fane leans in and whispers in your ear.
If it would be acceptable, I have an inquiry for this human. It is of a personal nature. And if it would not be acceptable, well, that would render this entire conversation rather awkward.
Fane approaches the blacksmith and quietly speaks to her. You can't overhear much, but he seems to be gesturing towards her head an awful lot. Fane's words are quiet, but you hear the blacksmith repeat, "Face ripper," in shock. She slowly starts to back away.
What is it with creeps like you and Master Niles? I told him to slither back to his dungeon, and you can get too, freak!
Fane backs away, scratching his head. It seems that didn't go as he'd expected. He is lost in thought, though. She must have said something he found interesting.
Have you, cud?
Disgusting. Just like all your kind.
Disgusting like crap. Stay down,
Will you quit dragging this? Take that on. Stand over the goal.
The Magister stares at the ground, unaware of your presence. With a start, she looks up and realizes someone is standing right beside her. Her eyes meet yours. She doesn't blink.
The Divine is dead. The Bishop is all we have left. I don't question the Bishop. He and Dallas would do anything to protect us. And they say he's God-woken. They say he'll ascend.
She pauses for several moments.
I do wish Alexander would ascend sooner rather than later. They say his powers are not developing as they should. They blame the Voidwoken. But we need his powers to develop so that he may banish the Voidwoken. It's quite the pickle. I wish it every night. More than anything. Oh, yes. Only a week or two before, well, you know. I wanted to serve him more than anything. But who didn't then? He was driving the Black Ring back, soon to rout them entirely. I put my faith in the Bishop. Reminds me of his father. And what he said has been true. Wherever there are sorcerers, Voidwoken strike.
The guard glances around furtively, then looks back at you. The merest hint of fear flickers across his face before he sneers.
Thought you must have died when that ship went down. Guess wolves can swim. Ha! That I can, provided we do a little quid pro quo. Here's how things are gonna go down. You'll kill a slum elf called Sahila for me. In return, I'll tell you exactly where to get just the right weapon for whatever it is you're doing that I don't want to know about.
He waves a little scrap of paper in front of your eyes, before patting it back into his breast pocket, a smug smile on his lips.
Deal? Far as I understood, lone wolves don't ask questions. So why don't you shut your muzzle and go fetch?
He smirks and whistles his source hounds a little closer.
You don't get it, do you? In here, I call the shots. You so much as tickle me, and you'll be tossed to my source hounds as a new chew toy. Do as I say, or you won't be doing much of anything at all.
He blanches and staggers backward a step, all bravado punctured.
Don't! I'll give you the information. Here, just don't. All right.
The Magister stares at...
The Divine is dead. The Bishop is all we have left. It'll be a last as well.
Her voice trails to silence, and she resumes staring at the ground, lost deeply in thought.
I do wish Alexander would ascend sooner rather than later.
Go on, keep moving.
Enjoy your stay, boy.
Not sure why you're still hanging around here. You know what you need to do.
This is no haven for innocence. Farewell, my furry friend.
I've got that special shipment you was asking after. Take your coin then.
Leave me. Go. You leave me be. Just leave.
She groans.
So this is fortune.
I know that look well enough. You're about to pop, ain't ya? Why don't you enter a match and let some of that frustration out? The right... You'll find out. Down the hatch, then.